a little bit easier גמרות, we changing topics, we changing עניינים. בעצם פעם, לא, מישהו אחר לצור פשוט, אל תפחד. לא יושב, לא מגלה לך, הוא יושב לידי, no, I'm just kidding. לא יושב אדם, and man should not sit, מולי, לא יושב אדם לפני הספר, in front of the barber, סמוך למנחה. So far has nothing to do of Shabbat, even on a weekday. Before mincha, don't take an haircut. עד שיתפלל, until you're going to pray mincha. No question till the end, you're going to have all of the explanation. לא ייכנס אדם למרחץ, a man shouldn't go out to the bath house. By then used to be a חושך בכזך. Taking a bath by us is 5 minutes, סמר מחמיר, but it was to be a long 9 yard. And before mincha, you shouldn't go to the bath house. You're not going to forget to pray mincha. ולא לבורסקי, בורסקי it's a tanner, the guy הוא מי שמעבד אורות, the guy who process leather, and when you start, you can't stop in the middle, it's a long process. They shouldn't start the process of the בורסקי, ולא לאכול, and you're not allowed to start eating, ולא לדין, בית דין not allowed to sit and judge people, you know, before mincha. First daven mincha, and then you're allowed to do eating, barber, shower, בורסקי, eating, and din and judging. ואם התחילו, but if they already started, כפרה, אין מפסיקים. They don't need to stop. מפסיקים, אין שאלות. מפסיקים לקרוא קריאת שמע, והם מפסיקים לתפילה. If somebody is in the middle is concerned that the time going to pass by, and if there is an obligation to read קריאת שמע, you should stop. The more we'll explain later. You should stop for קריאת שמע, which is the דאורייתא, but תפילה you don't need to stop, which is the Rabbanan. We'll explain. Love you. The Gemara says, so we said in the Mishnah, Samuch la mincha. So close to mincha, you're not allowed to do those 5 things. The Gemara says, hey Samuch la mincha, which type of mincha? Quick background. We have mincha gdola and mincha ktana. Mincha gdola, it's half an hour past chatzot hayom, past midday, it's mincha גדולה. מנחה קטנה begins an hour, about hour and 20 minutes before sunset. So the Gemara says, which mincha are you referring? Are you מנחה גדולה, which is today around 1:30, or מנחה 1 o'clock, or מנחה קטנה? אי סמוך למנחה, which סמוך למנחה? אי למנחה גדולה, if it's close to מנחה גדול, לא. למה לא? Why not? היי כשהות ביום, טובה. If it's close מנחה גדולה, 1 o'clock, you have all day, מה הבעיה? Let him take a shower, let him do whatever he needs. אלא, סמוך למנחה קטנה, rather it must be סמוך to close מנחה קטנה. If it's סמוך למנחה קטנה, you have a problem. You said in our Mishnah, אם התחילו, אין מפסיקים. If it's close סמוך למנחה קטנה, if you start it, you don't need to stop. The Gemara says, if so, נמת אהבת יובתא דרבי יהושע בן לוי. That would be a question on the following רבי יהושע בן לוי. דאמר רבי יהושע בן לוי, כיוון שהגיע הזמן תפילת המנחה, when the time of תפילת המנחה comes, we're talking about מנחה קטנה, or 20 minutes before מנחה, אסור לאדם שיתום כלום, you're not allowed to taste anything, קודם שיתפלל תפילת מנחה. You're not allowed to taste anything before תפילת מנחה. If the time of תפילת מנחה comes, you're not allowed to taste, you're not allowed to eat anything. The reason we are allowed to eat, if it's close to מנחה, because you got to put shomer, we're going to see later on. But stam, close to mincha ktana, you're not allowed to eat anything. So if the Mishnah is referring by mincha ktana, you shouldn't start a meal close to mincha ktana. But the Mishnah said if you start it, mitchilu, and mafsikim, you don't need to stop. How come? Moshe ben Levi says, close to mincha, you got to stop right away and pray mincha. The Gemara gives, no question, the Gemara gives 2 answers. לא. לעילום באמת, we can give an answer סמוך למנחה גדולה. Close to mincha gdola, you're not allowed to do it. But if so, what's the problem? You have enough time. The Gemara says, "Ubetisporet ben el asha." We're talking about the haircut of Ben el asha. The Gemara מספרת that Ben Asha spent a lot of money on his haircut. He wanted to look like a Kohen Gadol. It was the son-in-law of Rabbi, he was a rich guy, and he spent a lot of money to look like the Kohen Gadol. So his haircut took hours. So this type of haircut, you're not allowed to take even samuch lemincha gdola.
He went to the beauty parlor.
Yeah. ולא למרחץ, you're not allowed to take a shower, לכולה מילתא דמרחץ, all 9 yards of מרחץ. To Rashi says to wash the head and to wash your body with hot and then cold water and then sweat like sauna, all 9 yards. So this type of shower you're not allowed even before מנחה גדולה.
מה קרה לשאלה?
ולא לבורסקי, and not to a בורסקי גדולה. The type of tenor, בורסקי, not allowed to do, לעבד אורות. We're talking about a big one, the one that you start the beginning of the process that takes many hours, that you shouldn't start before, even before מנחה גדולה. ולא לאכול, you're not allowed to eat, בסעודה גדולה. If there is a brit or anything, you must pray mincha before the Suda, because that's considered Suda גדולה. ולא לדין, not allowed to judge, בתחילת דין, at the beginning of the din. The beginning of the din, we have, it might be long. If anybody said between two people in Beidin, it's one of the nightmares. They talk and they fight and they argue and take sometimes too long. So those are the cases, the Gemara answer, we're talking about close to Mincha Gdola. All of those 5 things you're not allowed to do, those that being done longer than the usual, not allowed to be done before Mincha Gdola. That's answer number 1. Answer number 2, Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar, באמת we're talking about Mincha Ktana. I'm sorry. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar, we're talking about Mincha Gdola, I'm sorry. Even mincha gdola, you're not allowed to, even the regular stuff you're not allowed before mincha gdola even. Lama? לעולם בתספורת דידן, even in our type of haircut. If so, לכתחילה אמי why you shouldn't sit before מנחה? לא יושב גזירה שמא יישבר הזוג. Maybe the scissors will broke in the middle of the haircut. And then you have half haircut and half no haircut. לא נעים, נכון? So therefore, you shouldn't do it.
Today works because people have
half and half. So in Purim, this is 20 years ago, 22 years ago, I used to have a chavus Rabbi Menachem Kogel. Rabbi Menachem Kogel was a Holocaust survivor, and so one of the guys in Purim, Rabbi Parson, you know Rabbi Parson?
Of course.
Yeah, he's funny guy. So he took half of the beard he shaved, and he kept only half on Purim. So my Chavusa Rabbi Menachem saw it. He was all shaking. I was like, Rabbi Menachem, what happened? He told me, Ariel, 70 years ago I was a kid. My father was the rabbi in Germany. And the Germans did not shave half of his beard. He said, when I saw it, it brought me back that memories. He told me my father never shaved it back. The second half. He never touched his beard in his life.
Wow.
That's how, in the middle of the haircut. Okay, ולא למרחץ, not allowed to take even regular shower, להזיע בעלמא, even סתם to sweat, you're not allowed to, לכתחילה המים לא, why לכתחילה you're not allowed to, גזירה שמא יתעלף, is my going to, to pass out, to faint, to pass out, ולא לבורסקי, and not to tenoring, even ליוני בעלמא, even just to see what's going on, לכתחילה אמי לו, why not? דין מחזי פסידה בזביני ומיטרית. Maybe he's going to see something that went wrong, and he's going to fix it, and it's going to take him too long. ולא לאכול בסעודה קטנה, לא לאכול, you're not allowed to eat before מנחה גדולה, even סעודה קטנה. למה? לכתחילה אמי לו, דיל מעטי להמשוכה, is not going to be a long meal, you never know. ולא לדין בגמר דין, ולא לדין, not allowed to judge, even if it's the end of the court case, לכתחילה אמי לו, מה לכתחילה נא, דיל מחזי תימה וסתר דינה. Maybe he's going to see a good reason, and he's going to say, okay, let's go back to the beginning of the din, and that will take longer. And therefore, Rav Acha bar Yaakov answer, all those cases, even during Mincha Gdola, you shouldn't do, because things might take longer, and it's going to cause a person to delay even many hours. ממתי התחלת תספורת? We said in the Mishnah, ואם התחילו, אין מפסיקים. If you start it, you don't need to stop. So what's considered the beginning of an haircut that you don't need to stop if you start it? אמר רבי אבין, מי שיניח מעפורת של ספרין על ברכיו, when he's going to put the apron of the barbers on his feet, that's the beginning already of the haircut. מתי התחלת מרחץ? What's considered the beginning of a shower? אמר רבי אבין, מי שירן על פרצו ממנו, when he's going to take off the upper coat. When you take off the upper coat, that's considered already that you started. מתי התחלת בורסקי? What's the beginning of the בורסקי? Of the tenoring? מי שיקשור בין כתפיו, he's going to take the upper and then tie it on the back. That's considered as beginning. מתי התחלת אכילה? What is considered the beginning of eating? רב אמר, מי שאיתו על ידיו, ולידו נטילת ידיים. ורב חנינא אמר, מי שיתיר חגורה, when you're going to open up his belt, that's considered, he used to open up the belt before the meal. Not after you are in the middle of the cholent, rather already from the beginning. The Gemara says, ולא פליגי, they're not arguing. הלן, והלהו, it's all the difference between בני בבל and בני ארץ ישראל. Bavel used to have their belt tight very hard. So before the meal, they used to release pressure and open it up. But in Eretz Israel, they didn't have the belt tight so much, so they never opened the belt before the meal. So for Bnei Israel, the belt wasn't that tight. What's the beginning? Well, that's why Netilat Yadayim is the beginning of the meal. But the Bnei Bavel, that the belt was tight, the beginning of the meal is opening the belt. Last part, Omar Abaye, Ani Chavrin Bavlaye, our friends in Bavel who are tying the belts hard. למאן דאמר תפילת ערבית רשות, according to the one who hold that תפילת ערבית it's optional, כיוון דשר עליהם מני, as soon as you open the belt, לא מטריחין עלי, we don't bother them to stop, rather you can start the meal. You can continue eating for ערבית. למאן דאמר תפילת ערבית רשות, as soon as you open the belt, יאללה, you don't need to stop for ערבית. If you didn't open the belt, you need to pray ערבית first and then the meal. But if you sit in the wedding and you open the belt, יאללה, enjoy. למאן דאמר חובה, דיברנו עוד תפילת ערבית is חובה, מטריחין עליהם, will bother him, even you open the belt, you're going to tell him, אחי, tie it back and go daven, ערבית, because it's חובה. פרדי גמור, the גמרא, but hold on. ואת תפילת מנחה, לכולי עלמא חובה, תפילת מנחה, that everybody agree that it's חובה, yet היא ותנן, אם התחילו, אין מפסיקים if they started. They don't stop. If you hold it תפילת ערבית is חובה, why אם התחילו if they started, they have to stop. ואומר רב חנינא מי שיתיר חגורו. We said if you open the belt, you don't need to stop. The Gemara answer, הטעם לא שכיחה שכרות. Regarding מנחה, it's not common for people to get drunk. So therefore, if you open the belt, you don't need to stop. אבל אחא שכיחה שכרות, but by ערבית, at night, people intend to drink more. So therefore, if you start it, even if you open the belt, you gotta stop, זאת חגורה, I'm so sorry, and do ערבית. הנה, another answer, במנחה, כיוון דקביע לזימנה, מנחה, since it's set time for it, it's sunset, אין ברירה, נכון? מירתת is concerned, always afraid, ולא עתי למפשע. He's not going to pass the time. אבל ערבית, כיוון דכולה לילה זמן ערבית, he said, oh, I have all night, okay, let me drink, and then later I'll get up. How many kids are Rabbi? I woke up and I forgot to do Aviv. Then lo mirtat is not for concern. Ve'ati lemifsha is going to be negligent, and therefore by Arvit we are מחמיר. מתקיף לרב ששת, מה ההק? ריחותא למיסה רמני? What? Big טרחה to tie the belt? Tie the belt, the daven. מה? What's a big deal? ועוד ליקואחי וליצלי. Okay, you know what? It's hard to tie the belt. Okay, pray with an open belt. איי, משום שנאמר, מה, אין צורך.
Is going on מנחה?
Both of them. No, you open the belt, the big deal. Okay, close the belt, tie the belt. Or daven with an open belt. Now, the Gemara, interesting, Tosfot says, assume.
That means in those times they used to really tie.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that maybe it's תרחה. Yet you cannot daven with an open belt. למה? משום שנאמר ייכון לקראת אלוהיך ישראל. You got to get ready in front of Hashem. You got when you're davening, you cannot look like a schlepper. You know what a schlepper tal? Schlepper in Yiddish, גל, זה מה זה schlepper גל? אחד שנראה חגורה פתוחה זה כאילו schlepping yourself.
ישוע פרוע.
So therefore, we don't have a solution to daven like that. Rather, you got to tie it back. But if you started by mincha, you don't need to go back. By Arvit, you do. עד כאן, חזורת.